Hello, good evening. I'm Oral Gibbes, and welcome to Oral Gibbes Live. This evening, very, very interesting guest. My good friend, Mr. Jocelyn Arndell. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, not so bad, thanks.
Well, I'm surprised this year. I was expecting you to be running for the Parliament of St. Martin. What happened?
Well, I feel that I should take a back seat at this time because I'm getting older and I would be able to give those young fellows advice, but I don't think it would be, it was so interesting for me to take part.
See,
and you look now, there's so many parties and there's so many candidates that I feel better outside looking in.
It's no longer fun.
No.
But people don't realize the history you made in St. Martin. You were a pioneer in politics.
Yes, well, I'm the oldest politician, really, you can say, because I entered politics in 1969. That's the first time I ran. I got 124 votes.
In 1969?
In 1969.
That's like 3,000 today.
That's right. And, that caused me problem because the people...
What mean it caused a problem?
Well, because the people went to class and Mr. Watley had to be careful. This young fellow gets so much votes. One of these days he's going to overthrow you. And that caused a friction between myself and him.
Wow. So the first time you ran in 1969, you ran on the list of the Democratic Party. And you got 124
votes.
That's a lot.
And then I joined Farm Whipham. And I ran, I got 205 votes.
Wait, let's go a little slow here. You left the Democratic Party.
Yes.
And you formed your own political party.
Whipham, which was the Women Island People's Movement.
That was the Orange Party, right?
Orange Party.
So it was in St. Martin, Sabre and Statia?
And then Bill Johnson was in Sabre, and he was the representative of our party in Sabre, and Eric Henriquez was our party representative in Statia. So we had a branch in Sabre and a branch in Statia. And now, up to now, the branch of Sabre is still running and active and has been in government for 40 years. Yeah.
So what year you started with him?
1970.
1970. And what was the reaction of the DP at that time?
Well, I had. Let me put it frank. Clem Labega was my mentor, and he was a DP.
Right.
But he always would give me advice and so on, and I took his advice. In many cases, he was right. And we had a different type of campaign because the campaign before then, they were always speaking about mudslinging. It was mudslinging. And we changed that. We used pamphlets to say what we wanted to tell the people. And then before the meeting, right here tonight I brought an old pamphlet from 1971.
Right.
And if you put this on the street now, it is still valid because it speaks here, it says St. Martin is going to the dogs. Crime and lawlessness is destroying St. Martin. Our roads are deplorable, and those fellows in government are out only for themselves, and strangers are taking over St. Martin. The prices are killing us. Those things.
Wow.
You can put 1970,
wow.
February 1971. Yeah? And then they spoke about vote buying. At that time.
Vote buying?
Vote buying. They say here, as earlier stated, many people were young men who were talking about entering politics to clean up the mess. To understand what has happened to these critics, one must understand the little game which is being played. And that is game man for sale. The game is played on all the islands, but it is mainly in St. Martin, that we will find the true masters of this dirty art. There are two sides, the buyers and the sellers. The sellers are the corrupt politicians fighting to stay in power and ready to exploit every human weakness to achieve their ends. They hope to encourage others to oppose, at that time is Wate. And once this is achieved, they then quickly make the switch and back Wate. In this way, we hope to push up the price. So you see, vote buying is not anything new. And in 71, it was rampant, so to speak.
Wow. But you know, they got people who say that vote buying doesn't exist.
Vote buying doesn't exist?
Yeah.
And this is a pamphlet that we put out in February 1971.
And you know, and I don't want to call any party name, but there's a certain party who denies that vote buying really exists. It doesn't exist.
Let me tell you something. As far as I can recall, it is vote buying, because when you would send someone to a shop and they would credit things, and when the bill has to be paid, they're being told, don't worry about that, man. Forget about that. Such a person is running, support them. What you call that? You call that vote buying.
Yeah.
And it started further back. It started all the way down in the 50s, 58, around 58. And it started in 51. I mean, 58, 51. Vote buying. You come to the shop and you take some credit, and then they will tell you, well, you know, don't worry, pay for it, because such and such a person is running. You want to get blocks, you want to get nails and lumber, and they send you by hardware to get those things, and then you don't have to pay. So what's it call it?
But it is dangerous to buy a vote. You can go to jail.
Today, yes. But it's a culture. It's difficult to say stop it at one time. It's a culture. It's everybody looking forward towards the election to get things to what they need, a fridge, a stove, etc.
It's amazing, because.
But today it's punishable.
But you know, I noticed today we have so many political parties running. And when you started the WIPM, did they have that many parties?
No, in 1973, we had 5 parties. We have 5 parties running for one seat. We had the PEP, that was Charles Flan. We had the IPPP, which was Sidney Leger. We had Ufa Labour Party, Willie Hayes. We had WIPM, and we had DP, 6 parties.
No,
for one seat.
Now, I wanted to explain for my viewers, because when they hear you say one seat, that was for Parliament.
For Parliament.
Right.
Parliament in Curacao.
And it was 3 islands made up one island territory.
3 islands.
Civil stations in Ireland.
That's right.
Okay.
And when the election results came, one party won, they get the most votes and got all the seats. Get all the one seat.
So the other 4 were out.
Other 4 were out. If you don't get sufficient votes, you're out. And this can happen now again.
You think so?
Yeah, this can happen now again. The small parties, the new parties, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2, but they might get sufficient votes to get a seat. But the other small parties can't make it.
Wow. So you think many of these parties today should have joined up together?
That's what they should have done. That's what they should have done. They should have formed one list. If all those parties form one list and make a big party, it would be much better.
But how you feel about, you know, now we have a parliament, 15 members, council of ministers, things have changed. In the past, we had elections for parliament Netherlands Antilles, and we also had elections for the Island Council.
Yes.
They now
Island Council is out.
Yeah. And it's become more expensive at the same time because you can't, in your days, how easy was it to start a political party?
Very easy. I found a political party very easy. I formed two parties, which was the WPM and ALM, Antillian Labour Movement.
Yeah, okay.
Antillian Labour Movement. And then I went back and supported the DP party.
But you also served in the Island Council, St. Martin.
Well, yes, I was elected in 1971 for the WPM.
You know, a lot of people, you know, that they don't realize the role you played in politics in St. Martin.
Well, no, they don't. They're talking about ship jumping today. Who was the first person that created ship jumping? We had 7 seats, and they were an Island Council of 15. So the DP had 8, and we had 7. And I spoke to one of the guys from the DP and encouraged him to come on and support me. So then we had 8 seats, and the DP had 7 seats. And of course, at that time there was no salary. I have up to now.
No salary?
No salary. The members of the Island
No
Council.
100 guilders or 5,000 guilders?
Nothing we got. I proposed in 1973 in an Island Council meeting in Station that they should give us a compensation of at least 450 guilders. It was carried by all 15 members of the council. It was signed by all of them, that motion. And it was never carried out, never executed until here recently. The members, I think, got 1,000 guilders, but we got nothing. And at the time, they came up with the Petrona Air Caring, and we was going to be compensated. That never left off the ground either.
Well, it's amazing though, because when you look at St. Martin today, and you see all the different political parties and people running, what goes through your mind? What really goes through your mind?
You mean now?
Yeah, when you look at...
You know what has changed? People usually say nothing has been done. The government is done for St. Martin. William, as an example.
William Martin, right?
William Martin.
Yeah.
He brought houses to St. Martin for the people after the hurricane. He fixed roads, roundabouts. He brought schools. And people look and say, William didn't do anything.
I can't understand that one.
Each time William is in office, something is being done. Look at the government building now that they might move into shortly. He started holding up and found a way to get it finished. People still saying he didn't do anything. I don't consider that fair.
But you know, a few months ago I spoke about that, and I said maybe he's to blame because he's got to do a better job at promoting himself and reminding people what they've done, because people have a very short memory.
Memory, yes. I think he should, but maybe he's not the type. Many people would refer to his character. Oh, he's arrogant and he's not a good leader.
But that has nothing to do with it.
But that has nothing to do with it. The man's character is his personal. That's his person. But the man works. Yeah. The man works. And I mean, they have people who have been in government for over 20 years, and they haven't done anything. They haven't built a school. They haven't built a home.
You're right. And he has a record. He has a very good record.
He has a record. He has a good track record.
But you know, it's so strange because, and I always tell people about Mrs. Westcott. She's a very intelligent politician, and she has a way of dealing with people. And then you have the Prime Minister now, Mr. William Martin, that is also a very intelligent person, very knowledgeable, have a sharp memory, it seems that people don't realize that people think that these people are stupid. They're not stupid.
No.
They're very, very intelligent. And this guy is memory and also experience. He's very experienced. I think of all the politicians running today, William Marlin and Cyril Westcott are the two most experienced politicians, right? But what do you think is holding back a person like, say, the Prime Minister of St. Martin today, Mr. William Marlin? Because, you know, I said the other day I was on a radio program, and I said, look, here you have a political party from, 1979, I think, or 78, they started, and never had the opportunity to really be in government for
full
term. And I said, maybe people should consider giving them a chance to be there for full term to see exactly what they can do, because I've seen him in office for a short term, seen roads built, schools built, and you could name it. So maybe, why not give him 4 terms? I mean, 1 year, 4 years, full term. Well, after I left the station, I was surprised the remarks that were made to me by some people. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it came from critics who don't like the person.
So what do you think, how you see St. Martin moving? Because from your experience, and you know politics better than I and most of us, do you think St. Martin is ready to make a real change and really break away from that old past?
Well, you know, they've been saying, oh, if you vote for me, I will change this and I will do that. The people have to realize that no one politician, member of parliament, can do anything. They can't do anything. Your party will have to get together, and the party does something. But as an individual, you hear them speaking about the 6 months contract, they got to get rid of that. No, one person cannot do anything. Collectively, the majority, your party, can make changes to any type of legislature, but not one individual.
I want to jump back to something you said earlier about ship jumping, that you all got someone to jump ship from the DP to the Whipham it was at the time?
Yeah, it was the Whipham.
You know, I've said here many times, and maybe people don't like to hear it, I say that I have no problem with ship jumping. I think it's healthy because it gives you a chance to get rid of a government probably no other way than to have 1 or 2 people jump ship and then go back to the polls.
Yeah, but it's always when one jumps that there's an election.
Exactly.
I feel that a person who is not self-elected, if he jumps ship, he jumps without a seat. You understand what I mean?
But that's not the case right now.
That's not the case, because it is not legislatively put down that once you get your own seat, that's your seat, but not when you come in on the party seat. When the party has the seat is run down from 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're one of those persons in there, you didn't get half of the votes that justifies the seat, plus 1. You haven't elected yourself.
So you feel that if a guy's in a jump ship, should have elected himself?
Yeah, he elected himself, it's his seat.
But if you look at the last election we had, only 2 persons elected themselves?
Yeah, that's it. And another thing, I always say that I don't believe that you could be independent in the parliament. If you are of this party, you jump ship, you cannot be independent. You took part in the elections under that party. And it complicates the fact that you didn't elect yourself, and now you're gone with the people's confidence over on the other side where the people didn't vote for.
But you know, Ms. Arndell, a lot of people saying that they vilifying the ship jumpers, but it's the ship jumpers who made it possible for the coalition to be formed and form a new government.
Yes, yes. But I don't think that is right. I don't think that is right. If you jump and you form a new government, it's not necessarily so. Because you could jump, you didn't give the party the majority. If you give the party the majority, then it's a new government.
What do you think, and you mentioned there, and you read some from 1971,
Yep.
with all the problems that we had then, and we have the same problems today.
Yeah.
What do you think people really, what do voters really want?
Difficult to say, because these things are still there. When St. Martin is going to the dogs, crime and lawlessness is destroying St. Martin.
That's happening now.
That's happening now. The politicians haven't done anything to stop this from going on. The prices are killing us.
That's okay.
The prices are still going up. The price of everything is going up. Strangers are taking over St. Martin.
We already done.
These are situations that the politicians didn't do anything about.
So you knew that in 1971.
71.
Now we're in 2016.
That's right.
And the problem is
Still there. And every person that got in there said they're going to do something about that.
But the people are disillusioned. They're not happy. The voters are very angry.
Yes, I think we're going to have a lot of people who are going to abstain from voting. They're not going to vote.
You think because they're not satisfied with the way?
Satisfied. And I mean, this election, you're going to be up for a lot of surprises. There are candidates who will not be candidates again.
Really?
After this election results, they're not going to be candidates again. And we have candidates that are seeking a position in Parliament, and they are not literate in the English language. They're not literate in Dutch. And the Parliament, even though we're in St. Martin,
right,
the Parliament is English, but our laws and everything is in Dutch.
Right.
So I don't know what if they are elected, what role they're going to play.
That'll be interesting.
Interesting.
But when you look at things, from your perspective, because you've been around so long, you are the most senior surviving politician among us today on this island. When you look at the problem that we had that you mentioned there, you see all the things that is going on around. What concerns you most today?
New people in government.
New people in government?
Yeah, it concerns me. Because when they get in there, they have to take some time to get acquainted with government to run. In the meantime, people suffer. They're saying, oh, we need a change, and this one is the youth got to get to work. And what are you going to create to give the youth work? When you get in government, you have to look at those things. What could we create? I heard recently that investors are coming in and they're going to build a hotel, and so I'm going to take up a lot of slack from the general public. A lot of people are going to be able to get work. But there are a lot of consequences attached to that too. You got to fix roads, you got to make more roads for cars, because if a hotel with 400 rooms, rental cars. Right now we have a problem with the traffic. You can't get from one place to the other in a short period of time. And when it was said we're going to put tunnels through the hill, it was criticized. You remember well?
Yeah, right.
What are they going to do with this? But you got to do something to make roads.
I guess we're going to have a helicopter service between Great Bay and Simpson Bay and Marigot and all over.
Yes. It's going to cause a chaos.
But you know, you worked in many different departments in government over the years. Did they ever come to you and ask you for your opinion, advice?
Opinion? No.
Nobody?
No.
That's
for example, you take the Labour office where I last worked. I mean, I had 14 years head of Labour.
Mm.
And if you look at what's going on now in the workplace, there's no control.
No control?
There's no control.
Wow.
You take the Chinese, or you take the Jewish stores. What is happening is that the Chinese working in a Chinese place. The Indians bring in only Indians alone. Once we were there in the Labour office, we control that. You couldn't have all Indians working, but you got to employ one or two locals. And what they did, the locals would follow the course that they would have and pass the course. So, and they work a little in that function, and after that, they have them on the street carrying messages while they get other people, their own people, doing the work. You know, I'll give you a simple example. You request permission for a gemologist to work in your place. That gemologist is a salesperson. The name you use, but he's a salesperson. Nobody controls that to see what he does. When I was in office, that just be controlled.
So things have kind of changed.
Yeah, things change.
You know, this island today, you know, is changing rapidly. We have people from all over, and the local native population feel like, and this is what people are telling me, they feel like the elected officials, persons that are elected to Parliament, and then they appoint those to ministers, that the interest of our people are on the back burner, and everyone else's interest is on the front burner. And I sense that the politicians don't realize the anger of the people.
Well, to be honest, I think the politicians should realize, not because you are in office, but those same people who put you in office can take you out. The politicians should realize that.
Maybe this time around this year.
They're going to be surprises.
Well, I say
surprises.
On the 27th of September, they're going to be bawling and screaming and wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Yep.
Because a lot of people are in for surprise.
Surprises.
But you know, you ran how many times now?
A couple of times.
A lot of times. And no one knows better than you. St. Martin vote is one of the most difficult votes to get a vote from. Huh?
Oh, yes. People can tap in and shoulder. I'm going in to put a thing there for you. And when they come out, they shake another person's hand. I just put it there for you.
The wicked sometimes.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You see, this vote buying, and come back to that again. You had to prove that you voted for me, and you get something for that.
Oh, okay.
You see?
So let me ask you this now, because they want to restrict the use of cellular phones.
Yes, I think they should.
You think that's the right thing to do?
Yes, because that's where you get vote buying. A person goes in, he votes, and he takes a picture of that. He comes out, he shows it to the buyer, he shows it to him, and he collects his money.
But then, you know, what about 4 years from now? They hear that there's a special pants that if you're wearing that pants can do something in the booth, take a picture. So then the legislate know that I can't go to vote with the pants on.
Well, they'll have to find something to curtail that.
It's, you know, I really think, you know, that if somebody wants to sell the vote and they're so stupid to do it, go ahead and sell it. If you get catch, that's it.
Yeah, but you see what happened? People can accept any kind of money for their vote. No.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean to say that they're going to vote for you. The camera was the proof.
Yeah. Okay. So that so that way, so that just remove the camera.
Yeah.
From there. And you may not know it, but this gentleman really shook up this island many, many years ago, starting a new political party, serving in the Island Council, worked in many, many departments in government, very knowledgeable of government and this island and their whole election process. And I think when you look at Zimbabwe today and you see now the new changes in the electoral laws, etc., how do you feel about it?
Well, you know, I can recall there were only 2 voting districts, one in Simpson Bay, and I was in charge to set up the voting bureau, and one in Phillipsburg. You know, many times I look at how it is set up, and I said, that's not according to the law. You can cause an election to be thrown out of that voting district. I mean, now there are, I don't recall how many voting districts there are, but at one time there was
13 or 14 now.
Yeah. And it is necessary too, because you have a lot of voters in different districts and so on. I think the voting districts has a lot to do with the election. I'll tell you why. You have to be a certain distance away from the voting districts, from the voting bureaus.
Right.
Who checks on that?
But they announced it this year too that they're going to enforce it.
This year they're going to work on it. In the voting bureau itself, there's a certain distance from where you go to vote with the curtains to the bin. And if there's a certain distance from the bin to those who sit in and controlling.
No one is walking there.
Sure, everything is there in the publication sheet.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
And they don't, I went in and one of them, and I said, no, this isn't right. But I didn't say anything about it.
The bin is too close to the... Yeah, I've seen that too.
You see? So those changes were not in the interest of the voting bureau. And another thing, you should be 200 meters or whatever it is, or 200 feet or what, from the voting bureau, the public.
Yeah.
Who checks on that? They have the policemen, they're supposed to check on that. Check to see the distance, because he can influence someone there to go to vote. Nobody checks on that. If you have real control on it, it can cause a lot of problems.
So you feel it should be controlled?
Should be controlled.
Yeah, I'll take some calls. 54221700 or telephone number 54221700. I have a question coming from Mr. Jocelyn Arndell. So when you look at all these parties run earlier, you said they should have gone together. How do you feel about the campaigning so far?
Well, looking at it, I think they have to hit up the campaign now because it's on a few days off.
But it looks like they're still not...
Everybody is quiet and they're not seeing much movement and so on. They have the public meetings, but You're not seeing it when it was 3 parties or 4 parties. It was different.
It's amazing. You don't even see them advertised on TV.
I'm telling you.
Wow. They're broke.
I don't know. I don't have the books. I don't have the book. They don't.
But you know, you think poor people should run for political office?
Well, the way people vote in St. Martin, ain't nobody can run.
There's a reason why I asked that question.
Well, I say the way it is done now, ain't nobody can run. Whether you have money or you don't have no money, you can run.
Because right now, you know, it's like money is a motivator. Because
Yes,
today, the salary is, what, $10,000, something like that. When you guys ran those days, there was no salary.
Nothing, no salary.
You were running for the love of the country.
That's right.
And now they're running for
That's what they said here. Those fellows in government are only for themselves, or for themselves. They have no other interest in the community. You don't see a politician, for instance, until it's election time. I can remember very well during the last election, the politicians came around, the candidates, and they sat on the steps of businesses where boys were gathered, promising all kinds of things. We're going to get a job for you. And after election, you don't see them any place.
They're busy.
They're busy. I mean, at least once a month come around. Once a month, take a Sunday and come around. Let the people. That's what I know. I remember in the days of Claude. Every Sunday, I would go to town, pick him up with his 2 children, and drive him to Middle Region, Dutch Quarter, and back. Meet the people. That's why it was difficult to win Claude. He met the people.
But today it's different, you know, because today we have people from all over the world.
But that's
nothing. Only St. Martin people.
That's nothing. You can still go out and meet the people. Because look how many people have been naturalized. They're from all over the world, but they've been naturalized. The politician doesn't go out. After he's elected, he's in the government. Oh, I'm so busy. I mean, come on. You have to look for the people.
You know, the last election, the United Us Party, that's France, everyone was predicting that they wouldn't even get a seat. And I remember being here and saying, you know, they're going to be 1 to 2 seats. And now people are saying they're no longer a small party. This time around now, people are saying, wow, they stand a chance 4 or 5.
Yes, they're looking very well. And you see what happened in France, the person, and he speaks about St. Martin. That makes a difference. He speaks about St. Martin. I heard him in a speech, I think it was last evening, if I'm not mistaken, and speaking about the difference of how Phillipsburg has become dormant and seems to be all the life, nightlife. Hurricane shutters has caused Phillipsburg to close down because people don't come to in a shop anymore to see what they want to buy in the store, to look at anything. It's difficult to bring that back because you're going to have to Phillipsburg is not lit at night. Certain places in Phillipsburg is dark. So you can't bring it back immediately. You can't bring back the life immediately into Phillipsburg. And what it should do, this is my opinion, you have cameras, have it properly lit, and then people might be able to feel better when they come to town at night. Down street, front street, down street is black.
Yeah.
You can't bring back the life in Phillipsburg so easy.
But then again, too, you know, I was in Phillipsburg a few times recently, and it's difficult just maneuvering through the street.
Well, don't speak about back street, because that is terrible.
And, you know, I'll tell you one thing. I was born in town. I know your father's a little boy coming right through the alley there, stopping and speak with my father. And the way Front Street and Back Street used to be, maybe it was better
Much
than what I got today.
Much better.
And if I had the power, I'll go back and I'll put it back the way it used to be.
It's true.
I never said that before here, but I'm saying it tonight, might offend a lot of people. But that design they got there and all that, if you look at Front Street and Back Street, I think it should go back the way it was.
I don't think that it was an improvement by putting the Front Street the way it is today.
They remove a lot of parking. They kill the business.
Yep.
And then they complain at the same time.
And then they're saying, yeah, but the business people are complaining that the cars are parked in front of their business and so on. No.
You know?
If you take, look, let me tell you something. I think, yes, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a booklet. I call it a booklet, Old St. Martin, New St. Martin. You should get one of those. The people that cannot remember what was after the courthouse coming up the First Street. And they show you pictures of what Phillipsburg had looked like and what Phillipsburg looked like today. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you can get it at the library or by Van Dorp.
I've seen a lot of those pictures, you know, and it really bothers me when I look at it today, because as a little boy, I walked Front Street and Back Street every day, you know, and today the other day, this year alone, I went to Phillipsburg twice, and I couldn't find a space to park. So I was going to buy something, and I just went back home.
Another thing I would like to say, but I mean, they're doing their job. Since there are so many vehicles, you can't find a place to park. If you go and you park in a wrong place, you're not obstructing traffic, but the police is in your skin, you're going to get a fine.
Yeah.
They're doing their job, but not all the time. Because you park here now, and the police come and move every car, give them a fine. Half hour after, you come back, places have the cars parked in the same place, the police passing them there and wouldn't do them anything.
Yeah.
So it's difficult.
So tell me, what you predict? You think it's going to be, you know, traditionally in St. Martin, we always have a turnout between 65 and 69, 70%. You think it's going to happen this time?
No. A lot of people are staying home.
Really?
A lot of people are staying home.
Why?
You see, a lot of people are off island too. And this, I remarked this some time ago. When it was possible to vote by proxy, the DP party had a seat in proxies alone.
Wow.
They would send someone to Curacao, Aruba, even in the States, and get the proxies for people who are there. And now you don't have that. So those people who can't come wouldn't be able to vote. So that carry up the figure of people, non-voters.
And what surprised me, the amount of St. Martin people living in the Netherlands now.
Yeah.
A lot.
That's it. But I think some provision would have to be made for instance, students who are in the Netherlands, because you are in the Netherlands, but you are registered there, and you're not registered in St. Martin, so you're not on the voters list. and then you can't participate in the election.
But they could vote in Holland, so.
Some provision should be able to be made.
I mean, because when you go to Holland and you're there, you study, you register,
they can vote in Holland.
They vote in Holland, so,
yeah.
You know, but the politician here want them to be able to vote here.
Those from the States, you could bring them in by plane, and they're still registered in the census office, they can vote.
Well, here there's a 747 coming in on the 24th, somewhere there.
Somewhere there.
I'm just exaggerating the point. But that's vote buying. That's vote buying. I never thought about that. You paying to fly people in. That is vote. Prosecutors, do your job. Stop that plane that's coming in. Really, I never thought about that. Yeah. If political parties are buying tickets to fly people in from abroad to vote, what is that? Isn't that vote buying?
Well, I don't know if you would consider that to be vote buying. It's like.
But you're paying for my ticket.
That's right.
Why if I want to vote and I love my country so much, I'm supposed to be able to buy my own ticket and come and vote.
That's correct. That's correct. But I don't know if you can place vote buying under that.
Because I think we got to define really vote in a good way. Because this is my opinion that if a political party is paying for the ticket for someone to come from abroad, and oh, by the way, they give money to, and they give them $300, $400, $500.
Okay.
That's vote buying.
That's vote buying. If money is involved, it is vote buying.
They never get a ride home without money. So I just let the cat out the bag. If the prosecutors didn't know that one, that is vote buying.
Yeah, that is true.
So you see, the whole thing about it is, and no, the parties with a lot of money can do that, and the party with the money can't do that.
Yep.
So you see, it's not a fair.
It's not fair play.
Playing field.
Yeah. That's it.
But you know, I never thought about that. I only know that I'm here speaking with you, I realize that
that's a possibility.
Give me a plane ticket, give me a few $100s to come home, that's vote buying.
Mm-hmm. Because the purpose of it is to vote. No.
To all my friends, I'm sure many people know who paid for tickets to bring people to St. Martin. And the whole thing here is that they have other parties, they don't even have money to buy a sandwich. So they're not going to do anything. They're not going to get any money.
Well, no, you got to have the contact.
Pardon?
You must have the contact.
What kind of contact?
Look, if the big parties can afford to bring the people in to vote, then what you think the new parties don't have the contact to bring those people? Look, the students in the United States, they're coming to vote for a particular party.
Right.
The small party doesn't have the contact to bring them.
You could get a contact, but you need the money.
Oh.
You see, today politics is so expensive. United States of America presidential election this year, both candidates are spending over $1 billion to get elected.
Wouldn't you call that vote buying?
I think they buy votes in America too.
Yeah.
You know?
You see, on a small island like ours, they can easily say, if I catch you buying and selling, it's punishable. But what about the United States? The money that is given to the candidates to run for office, those billions of dollars, what do you think is happening with that money?
I don't know.
How are you going to run a campaign with money and you're not buying votes? Even here, if you're running an office.
Well, somebody told me here now to run a campaign here is over $1 million. I was shocked.
Possible.
I'm here speaking with veteran politician, Mr. Jocelyn Arndell. It wasn't my intention to draw the attention of the prosecutors to other aspect of vote buying. It just so happened that we're here speaking, and in the conversation it came up, and I realized that you're flying in someone is vote buying. You know, so sorry to all the political parties if I let the pig out of the bag. Was intended to do that. So now the prosecutor's going to have a sharper eye out what's going on.
Yeah, stop the flight from the airport.
What do you think about if someone campaigns that they want to be prime minister, but when they get it, they decline it?
Well, it depends on what they're thinking. Because if I'm campaigning to be prime minister, I got the majority, and I decline from prime minister, then I have fooled the people again.
Again?
Yes.
You think the people are really that silly that they be fooled so often?
Well, people have been fooled by the politicians all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Because the candidates are saying, I'm going to do this when I get in there, I'm going to do that when I get in there, and it isn't possible for no candidate to do anything unless his party, you know, in its entirety, it does it.
But based on your opinion, right, experience, can you make a prediction? What do you think? It's going to be a coalition, or you think someone's going to win right now?
I don't know. I haven't.
It's too difficult, right?
Yeah, I haven't. It's going to be a coalition, but
3 parties, 4 parties in government?
No, at least 2.
At least 2?
Yeah.
You're not seeing a coalition of 3 parties?
No.
Wow. I got to remember this one, huh?
Yeah, no.
I got to remember this one.
I remember.
I hope you're right on this one.
No coalition no, if there's a coalition, there's only be 2 parties.
I don't know. I'm seeing 3. I'm seeing 3. You know why? Because the Christian party is going to get a seat. And I put myself over the line like I did the last time with France party saying you're going to get 2. The Christian party is going to get a seat. And I think it's going to be disruptive to the whole thing.
Well, they could have the key. Suppose you get 661.
I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I don't see nobody getting 6 this time around.
Well, no. You know what can happen is that a party get the majority of votes, but not sufficient seats. And then you get preferential seats. Could be split 1, and then another 1.
Well, I tell you, I'm not going to call any names, but I think maybe one might get, I'm thinking back, maybe one might get 6 seats, but it's going to be hard.
Yeah. I don't think the amount of seats will go up through that end. I don't think.
So you're predicting there will be just 2 parties.
I feel it's only 2 parties and 1 coalition.
I'm predicting
the other's going to be in opposition.
I'm predicting it's going to be 3. We got a dollar bet.
A dollar bet.
It was good having you, man. Really appreciate it. Always good to have you here. You know, you are a living legend when it comes to politics.
Thank you.
And I just still have about 30 seconds. You want to add anything in closing?
Well, it is a pleasure being here on your program again. And this time it was politics. Usually it's always a little bit of history. But
right.
And this is history too, because I spoke about the past.
Exactly. And also what you've done in terms of a politician, you made a lot of changes with the whip and everything.
Yeah.
So what does history do? So again, thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. And I think they should call on you for advice because you got a lot to offer this country.
Yes. I'm always willing to give my advice.
All right. Thanks a lot. Okay, Mr. Jocelyn Arndell. And that's it for now. See you next time. Till then, good night. Take care. Bye.